Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Courtney. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make your own custom wooden signs that you can use for any type of sign. I'm going to be sharing with you some great home decor ideas that are also fabulous gift ideas, as well as some pieces that are multi-seasonal. So let's get into today's DIY. Thanks to Cricut for sponsoring. Now let's go. For this first DIY, I'm going to be putting together two of my own little wooden signs that are perfect for you guys to make and then just stack up several different sizes, and then you always have them available. And these actually cost me nothing because I just used scrap wood, but you're going to want to start with a either 1x4, 1x6. I found that the 1-inch thickness though is perfect for the actual sign part. And then for the trim on the sides, I just cut two pieces that are exact same length for the sides, and then two pieces that are also the exact same length for the others. So that's kind of pretty much the component to make this sign. And what's nice about this is that 1x6 is going to kind of sit in the middle, so it'll have kind of a little bit of a indentation in the front and the indentation in the back, if that makes sense. It kind of inset and offset. You guys get what I'm saying. So where I started was I went ahead and painted this with some Waverly white chalk paint. The other little sign I went ahead and just painted black. Now, once this was drying, I was ready to go ahead and I'm going to stain my pieces. You could certainly leave them natural, but I decided to go with the dark walnut stain, and I just rubbed one coat on the front and the back of those. Now I'm ready to assemble my sign now that my pieces are all dry. So for this first sign, I just went ahead and went free-handed, I guess you could call it. I just started with two of the same size pieces, and I held it right in place, making sure that my whiteboard was centered on my little brown piece of trim, and then I just used my nail gun to to nail it in. Now I have a cordless Craftsman nail gun, and I absolutely love it. It's not scary, it works really well, but you do still need to be careful with it. But of course, if you don't have a nail gun, just simply get some small finishing nails and a hammer, and you can still put this sign together very easily. So I'm going to go ahead and get all four of my sides attached to my sign. Now what's great about this sign is because the centerpiece or the sign part is kind of inset, it's a perfect sign to do double-sided, so you could definitely get multi-seasonal pieces out of this type of sign. So now I'm ready to go ahead and start applying the decals that I cut off. I decided on this one side I wanted to make a countdown to, and then I'm going to make it to where I can pretty much have any holiday I want, any event, birthdays, whatever I want to do. So I started by putting the countdown to at the top, and then once that was done, I went ahead and grabbed one of the Dollar Tree metal tags, and I cut out some Halloween themed decals as well as some Christmas ones, and I just did the pumpkin and the word Halloween for that, and I'm going to put that straight onto my little metal tag, and then I'm just going to flip it over, and I'm going to go ahead and put my Christmas. Now you might wonder why the Christmas, I pulled the Christmas tree out of the Christmas tree stencil because I didn't want to waste it, and so I'm just going to put that aside. But that's kind of a nice thing, is if you have extra pieces, just save them. So then I got Christmas on this side, but you could do Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, 4th of July, birthday, anniversary. And then once I got that done, I'm going to be using the metal tags to put the different events, and then these brown tags, actually they were longer tags, but I cut them to fit because I did end up cutting some numbers on my Cricut Explorer 3 as well, and I did 0 through 9, so I did that twice. And so what I'm doing now is I'm just marking where the holes are on these, because I'm going to screw in some hooks. That way it's really easy for me to remove them and use this countdown. So once I've got those marked, I'm going to grab my Dremel to kind of start the little hole, and then I'm just going to screw these hooks in by hand. I'm ready to work on my numbers. So this is the pack of wooden tags that I got from Amazon, like I said, and I just trimmed them down so that they would fit. And then what I opted to do, and here are my numbers, 1 through 0. And then what I decided to do was just to, because I have 2 sets of them, I'm gonna put numbers back to back. So 1 and then 2 will be on one little card, and then 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9 and 0. You get it. And so I'm going to do that for both of these. Now, because I'm putting vinyl on this kind of cardboard, cardstock type material, here's a tip for you. If you are going to do that, you need to make sure that the transfer tape you're using is not like a fresh sheet, because what's going to happen is you'll end up actually pulling up some of the texture of this cardboard cardstock. So what I usually do is I just use some used pieces once, or if you have a new piece, just put your hand on it, stick it down on a table, just kind of get the, I guess, fresh sticky off of it. And then when you go to transfer, it will not peel that cardboard and make little fuzzies all over it. Now for the second sign, I was using a 1x4 that I trimmed down, and this is the second way you can put it together. If you are not feeling it, like trying to hold the pieces, just get yourself a clamp, and then you can clamp the 2 pieces and then go in and nail it. So that's the second way you could do it. I go back and forth. It just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. If I think I'm going to be dangerous, then I use the clamp. Now, once I get that done, I decided for this piece, I wanted to make something that could be multi-seasonal, that could either go on a 3-tier tray or just right on my desk. And that is going to be a mini wreath holder. So the whole idea of it was that I would be able to change out little wreaths for different seasons. And so for this one, I'm just going to kind of go with, I guess, a summery type wreath. I had one of these little brown wreaths from the grapevine wreaths that came in a pack from Hobby Lobby quite a while ago, and I wanted to add a little bit to it, so I just grabbed some of my greenery and picked off some leaves and started kind of gluing them in there. And then I took some Dollar Tree florals and just snipped them down really tiny, and I glued them in there. And then I just added a little burlap bow, so you could definitely make a little mini with the mini pine cones. You could make a mini pine cone wreath to hang on there for fall if you wanted to, and of course a little mini Christmas wreath. You could do Valentine's Day, your birthday. I mean, lots of little options, but you can just change it out with the seasons, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. For this next DIY, if you don't have any scrap wood in your garage, or you're waiting for the prices of wood to go down, just grab yourself a Dollar Tree sign. I had this one in my stash. I apparently had started to break it down but then didn't use it, and I decided to go ahead and use the back, so I just pulled off the label, and what I wanted to do was paint 3 stripes. It was going to be white, orange, and then yellow. Once my stripes were dry, I created a quick decal that says Hello Fall. I just liked that it said Hello Fall because I felt like it was a good transition piece with the white, orange, and yellow of the sign, and then it says Hello Fall, even though I know Halloween is in fall, but candy corn's in fall, you know what I'm saying. And I got that applied to the front, and then for the back, I decided just to put a piece of scrapbook paper in there. I have one of those big 5-season packs from Hobby Lobby, so I grabbed one from the fall section. It's just a plaid piece of scrapbook paper. You'll see it in a second. Apparently I decided to wait to the very last minute to show it to you. There you go. And I went ahead and just applied that to the back of my sign. Then I took some hot glue and went ahead and just popped that back into the frame. I just left the frame as is. I just left it black. And then I decided, oh, I should sand the edges. Well, I'd probably recommend, if you're going to sand it, do it before you put it in there. It wasn't that big of a deal. I was able to clean it up, no issue, but definitely try to sand it beforehand. And there you go. You've got yourself a really cute little fall sign. This last project is something I've been wanting to make for years for my house, and I actually finally got it started, but then I didn't really like how the way that looked. So for this one, I'm going to be using a sign that I got on clearance from Hobby Lobby. And what I did is I went on my Cricut and I just cut out all the places that we have lived, and I cut them as big as I could to get them to fit my sign. So my first step was just to go ahead and of course weed all that, get all my little decals ready to go, and then it was a time to apply to my sign. Now for this part, I just didn't want to do it. The thought of me trying to get it all perfectly spaced was just driving me bonkers. So Mr. Cheap came in and he marked it all off. He drew some really awesome boxes so I knew exactly where to place them, and it made it super easy to go in and measure it. And actually he said it was not that hard. I think I'm not a fan of using rulers, I guess, and measuring things. I don't know. And so he marked it all off. I went ahead and put them all down, and then I was able to go back in and just erase all the pincer marks. And now I have this awesome sign that just kind of documents, since we've been married, all the places that we have lived.
Walking down the street on clouds instead of the concrete I'm dancing through. Everything's about to come my way. Nothing can ruin my day, no matter what anyone does or say. I smile at fools. No, I don't care, 'cause I am on my way up, and I won't stop, I won't slow.
And there you have it, a sign that represents all the different places that I've lived since being married. Now, you could do tons of options with this. You could add latitude and longitude. You could add the state names. You could add dates. So lots of options if you want to make a sign like this. Let me know down below in the comments, how many different places have you lived? It could be for your entire lifespan. It could be from just since you've been married or engaged. I'd love to know. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Here are some more videos you might enjoy, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!